presentation. So we are recording now. So welcome everyone. I'm Carol Wilmot with RMTC-DHH, Resource Materials and Technology Center for the Deaf and Hard of Hearing. And today I'm joined by Cindy Camp from Described and Captioned Media Program, DCMP. She will be presenting using accessible media with students who are deaf and hard of hearing today. Just so you know a little bit about the Zoom room, on the bottom you will see a little bubble or a little square that says CC. That's how you can turn your closed captions on and off. There's a little bubble there that you can click on to join the chat, and you can either chat with just one person privately or you can chat with the whole group. You just have to toggle through that, but we do love to hear what you have to say, so please feel free to chat with us during the presentation, send us questions. I will be reading the questions out loud so that they are captured through the captioning. Speaking of that captioning, I do want to thank Ann Armstrong for being here today to be able to caption for us. I will be monitoring the chat and dropping links throughout the presentation for Cindy and some of our links for us, just as a reminder that this is being recorded and it will be shared on the RMTC TA Live webpage. And we also ask that at the end, if you take a few moments to fill out our survey about our TA Live to give us feedback on how we're doing. We do have a special, for today's webinar, we are able to offer CEUs thanks to Described and Captioned Media. They are approved RID CMP sponsor for continuing education activities, and this is a general studies program, and it's offered 0.1 CEUs at the little to none content level. And participants can receive the RID CEUs or general credit certificate by participating in this live webinar or watching the recorded video until the end of January. And Cindy provided that link for you to be able to get to that. So with all that business done, I do want to welcome Cindy Camp and thank you very much for doing this presentation for us today on using accessible media with students who are deaf and hard of hearing. So with that, I will share it, hand it over to you.
Okay, great. Welcome everybody. I'm glad you're here today. I'm going to go ahead and start sharing my screen, and it'll take me just a second to get the presentation set up. But hopefully everyone can see that. Okay. So today we want to talk about using accessible media. I'm sure that many of you may have tried to show videos or worked with people wanting to show videos, and they're a really great teaching tool, except when they aren't accessible to deaf and hard of hearing students. With this first slide, take a look at how our educational program has changed over the years.
Hey Cindy, we can't see the slides yet. You have to green at the bottom. Ah, there we go.
There we go. Okay, now can you see the slide correctly?
Yes, we can. Thank you.
Good deal. Thank you for that. Okay, so you can see how in the past, good little boys and girls sat in their seats and they faced forward and they didn't move around a lot. And we've learned that that doesn't really mean learning. In the second picture, you see a little boy actually teaching his class, and in the third, you see a child learning independently. So technology has made a lot of changes to the way we teach, and we want to make sure that all of the students are able to access that. I posted in the chat box this link, but it's up on the screen now. And when you go to the website to fill out the form for RID CEUs or a general certificate, it's going to ask you for a beginning and an ending code. So here is our beginning code, capital DCMP 2019. And you'll need to put that in, and at the end, you'll need to put in the ending code This is just one of those ways to double check that you stayed for the entire presentation. And then at the end of the month, when we close out these CEUs, they'll be submitted to RID, and you'll all be notified if you requested them, that they've been submitted. And you can email me if you have any questions about that. So, on with our presentation. Video is really a good way to teach any student. It is inspiring, it engages students, it provides them with learning experiences that they would not have otherwise. You can take virtual field trips. They may never go to Africa and go on a safari, but if you're learning about animals, you can do a virtual safari with a video and they can learn about those animals. It's a great way to talk about history or doing a science experiment that you might never be able to do live. So there are a lot of different ways that you can use video. It's also a really good way to pre-teach concepts. Within education, you learn that students need to be exposed to a concept multiple times in order for them to learn it and begin building on it. And video is a great way of doing that. But like I said, the problem is when it's not accessible. So that's where DCMP comes in. DCMP is a federally funded project. It's funded through the U.S. Department of Education, which means it's totally free to you. Anyone who works with deaf or hard of hearing students, blind, low vision, or deafblind can sign up for a free account and have access to all of these resources. This is just an example of what we offer. You are familiar, I'm sure, with captions. So as what is being voiced is captioned below. We also add audio description for individuals who are blind. So it's fully accessible, and this is what's going to make the difference in the classroom. I'm going to show just a little bit of a clip of one of our videos. This one's a little bit unique because it includes both captions and audio description at the same time. Most of our videos you will choose if you want the captioning or the description on, but this one shows both. So let's take a look.
This episode of Moko the Young Explorer begins in a mountainous land that has a light dusting of snow. Triangular trees and tall mountains are covered with a thin, snowy layer. Green plants stick out from under the snow. As Moko and his friend Alaric walk, a sheep with large curved horns on his head joins them. The mountain is rocky on one side and green and full of flowers and plants on the other. Hey now, come on, let's go exploring with Moko.
The Ancient Mountain. It was daybreak, and the sun was finally warming the land in Alaric's country. The snow was melting quickly, and the mountain was shedding its white blanket. Moko imagined that he would soon be on his way to continue his quest for the end of the world. Suddenly, a delicate perfume interrupted his thoughts.
Moko tilts his head and sniffs at the air.
An old woman arrived, carrying a basket filled with colorful fruits and flowers that smelled as good as his friend the old wise man's roses. "Where did you find all of this?" he asked her. "On the ancient mountain, just there. The time of fruits and flowers has returned."
Colorful trees and a sparkling lake on a mountain.
"We must take advantage of it while it is here, because it will not last long." "But where is this ancient mountain?" asked Moko. "The best discoveries are those we make ourselves, my dear boy."
Moko looks thoughtful. Then Alaric approaches.
"We must find this place. Come, let's go."
Alaric shrugs and then follows Moko.
They began to walk towards the mountain. It by bit, their hope faded. All that they could see along the rocky path was dried up shrubs.
They take long, hard steps up the mountain. Then, almost on their stomachs, they pull with their arms to climb higher.
There isn't anything here. There are no flowers or fruit anywhere on this mountain. The old woman lied to us.
Moko, climbing the steep mountain nearly on his belly, looks up to see a large sheep with horns on his head. Moko opens his mouth and stares. The sheep just springs off down the mountain, past Moko and Alaric. Alaric looks surprised. Suddenly,
So you get an idea of what we do. These are all high quality educational videos, and they show different things that you would want to use in the classroom. The MoCo series begins each segment with a story, and then the second part is a science lesson. This one talks about erosion. As I said previously, you're all going to qualify for membership. If you haven't already, I hope you will before the end of today. Go on our website, which has been posted, www.dcmp.org, and throughout you're going to find buttons that say become a member. You'll click on that and it's going to bring up this application. You'll fill it out, and then on the next page you'll have the choice of choosing between two types of accounts. Previously, everyone who signed up needed to qualify for a full DCMP account. That means that you have access to our entire video library of over 8,000 educational titles. Now we have added some online learning modules that are freely available to everyone. So we've added a second membership category called eLearner. Anyone can sign up for an eLearner account. There's nothing you need to do to qualify for that. Even students can sign up for eLearner accounts, and I'll explain why they might want to do that a little bit later. But anyone can have access to those e-learning materials. To be a full member and to qualify for that, you need to be a parent, a teacher, or a professional with a student who has either vision or hearing loss and is in the K through 12 system. Unfortunately, we are not able to serve adults. We can only serve those students up to the age of 21 who are in a K through 12 program. So you'll qualify, and then you can use these videos with your students. Please share the information with parents so that they can sign up and use the materials with their students at home as well. We like it if every teacher who has that student has their own account. This is because after watching each video, we ask you to fill out a very short survey. Because we're federally funded, we have to collect a lot of data, and that's helpful to us. So some schools want the librarian or one central person to have the account, and then teachers use that one account, but it usually works better if each teacher has their own account. Now, if you have work with students who are in, say, middle and high school where they change classes, and there may be one student in one class, but that teacher teaches the same class 5 times a day. That teacher can use our materials with all of her students in all of her classes because there's one deaf student who's going to benefit. We try and make it easy. We know that you don't want to change up materials for different classes and for different students. So we try and help with that.
Cindy, we had a question.
Yes.
DJ is from Canada, and she was asking if she's able to access any of these materials.
You can access all of the e-learning materials, and there are some of the videos that are open access. Unfortunately, since you're from Canada, you won't qualify for a full account. being funded through the U.S. Department of Education. We're only allowed to provide services to American citizens, those living in the U.S. So sorry about that. There still are a lot of resources you can access, but not all. One of the things that I find really important to get across in the very beginning is that quality of captions is so very, very important. I'm sure many of you have maybe watched the automatic captions on YouTube and cringed. I know there are a lot of general education teachers who are under the misconception that when you click that button on YouTube, it suddenly becomes accessible. And even though it may have words up there, it really is not access. So this may be preaching to the choir, but I'm going to show a video. This one has no sound, so that everybody's on an equal playing field here. It's a trailer for the movie Toy Story, and the first time through, it uses automatic captions. And the second time through, it uses DCMP style captions. So we're going to play it through, and I just want you to think about the students that you work with and how they would respond to each style of captioning. For me, this is a very effective way to show why the quality of captions is so important. I hear from so many agencies that produce captions, and honestly from a lot of educators, they're looking for an inexpensive way to do it. It would be nice if that were possible, and it has gotten better, but the quality trumps everything. If you don't have quality, it would have been ridiculous to pay for those first set of captions because they don't provide access. So I pulled out just a small segment so you could see them side by side. And on the left, you've got the DCMP style human generated captions. It looks very different from the automatic captions. Just the fact that the automatic captions don't have speaker identification and don't have punctuation make a huge difference. And think about the students that you work with. A lot of them are emerging readers. So what might be understandable to an adult who has high-level reading skills is going to be very problematic for a younger student. So that's why we want to make sure that the captions really are high quality. And DCMP does that. We have some of the only published and researched captioning guidelines. Those are freely available to everyone on our website. You can go there and just search for captioning key and find them. But it's a really good way to, if you're doing any in-house captioning, to start and know what the guidelines are. So how can you access our media? Again, we try and make it as easy as possible. You can access from a standard laptop computer, desktop computer, also from tablets and smartphones. We have a special iOS or Apple app that you can download, but I have an Android phone, and I'm able to access the website very easily without a specialized app as well. So I think you're going to find that it's really easy to access. And we also have most all of our materials on DVD as well. So if you live in an area or you have students who don't have internet access at home, they can actually order the DVD and watch it that way. Currently, we do not have a system for you to be able to download the video to watch offline. We are working on establishing that. It is a little bit more difficult than it might sound because we have to go through a lot of encryption protocols, because all of the materials we have are copyrighted, and to have access to them, we have to maintain a high level of security. So hopefully in the next year or so, you will be able to download for a limited time, perhaps a week, and then it would expire. But at this time, you do need a live internet connection, or you can order the DVD. Either way, there is no cost to you. If you order the DVD, we pay shipping both ways. So now let's take a look at what you're going to see when you bring up one of our videos. This is the standard screen, and we're going to go through each part and talk a little bit more about it. In the top right corner, you have several icons. You have this little icon that looks like a play button and a plus sign. I'll go into that a little more later. You have a heart, which makes this one of your favorites, which saves it to your favorites list if you click there. And there's a star rating system. So if you really like or really don't like a video, you can actually provide your feedback. There's a comment section as well, and that can be helpful to other teachers who are going to use this video. And then there's the runtime of the video. Below that is a description of the video and what you're going to see, so you can decide if it's really what you wanted or not. Below that, again, the runtime, the star system, and then it tells you what accessibility features this video has. This one has the C, which is for captions, and the D for description. So this video is going to have English captions and descriptions. We do have quite a few videos that are in Spanish. So you can check and see if that would help with some of the students you work with, if there's a Spanish version. Everything is captioned. Not everything is described, especially a lot of our ASL videos, since they're intended for people to learn sign language or to see sign language, so they may not all be described. But you can check those accessibility features. It's going to give you the topics that this video is under and the subtopics. This is helpful if you're looking for other videos in these categories. Then it's going to tell you the grade level that this is recommended for. We always recommend that teachers review the materials. This is a general recommendation. You may have younger students who would greatly enjoy this, and you may have older students who would as well. Then there's a release year. This is The Miracle Worker. It's a very a classic movie, and so the fact that it was released in 1979 probably shouldn't be of concern. The film quality may not be what today's students are expecting, but the content is going to be very applicable. However, if it were a science video and it were released in 1979, you might want to question that unless you were using it for historical purposes. We do go through and evaluate our content on a regular basis, but we also depend on the feedback we receive from you, the consumer. If you find something in the collection that you feel is outdated or has incorrect information, we read every one of your comment cards and we evaluate those videos, and a lot of them are then removed from the library and replaced with something more current. Then you have the producer or distributor. This is helpful if that producer has additional videos in the collection. You can click on the link and go to the producer page and see what other materials they have. Below the video, you're going to see language accessibility. If you click there, it's going to tell you if this is English, Spanish, or both, if it's described or captioned in English and Spanish. So that allows you to see what accessibility features are. Cinema mode makes it full screen. Report a problem lets you communicate, send an email to our tech team, and I'll tell you, they are very responsive. Most problems are solved that same day, but they're going to get back to you very quickly when you report a problem. The transcript is a really cool feature that I think you're going to like. So when you have the video playing, you click the transcript button, and below it, you come up, you see the transcript. Now, it doesn't highlight word for word as it's being said, but it will highlight phrases as you go along. The nice thing about this is you can actually download this transcript. So you can download it and give it out to the students as a study guide, or give it to the students before they watch the video so that they could perhaps highlight or underline specific parts as they go along. Also, if you have a video that you can't play in one class setting, like The Miracle Worker was almost 2 hours long, you may not have enough time, and you're going to have to stop it and then start it again the next class. Currently, we don't save your settings for when you stop watching a video. So the transcript helps here because I can say, okay, we stopped when the words veterans become railway men. I'm just going to, on a sheet of paper, make a note to myself. Tomorrow, when I come into class, I'm going to type that phrase into the search box and search for it. And it's going to jump me to that place in the transcript and that place in the video. So it's very helpful if you need to stop and start a video at different points. If you have a student who wants to review only a certain part of the video, they don't want to watch the whole thing, they could type in, for example, the Great Plains, and it will show how many times that phrase appears in this video and jump them to that point. So if they're searching for specific content, it's an easy way to go through. Additionally, we are implementing where videos will have the transcript of both the captions and the description. Currently, it's not all of the videos. It takes a while to do that, but we have quite a few that have both already. The nice thing about that is you could download the caption and the description transcript, and then the video is accessible for deaf-blind users. They can use it with a refreshable braille display or whatever technology they use to access print materials. So that's another really nice feature. So we've talked about some of the academic content, but we have content on a lot of other things as well. Academic skills, how to take notes, how to study for a test. There are self-advocacy videos. There are some for young children where they learn what it means to be different and how to be respectful of those differences, all the way up through high school students, where they learn how to ask for accommodations and request what they need. There are job skills videos. We're going to go over one of our training modules in just a few minutes, but there are tons of videos on job skills. And there are a lot of videos on life skills. How to set up a bank account, how to rent an apartment, how to budget money. So almost anything you can think of, we probably have it covered in some way or form or fashion. If you find a topic that we don't have covered, we ask for your recommendations. There's a form you can fill out and you can say, oh, I really wish you had something on this topic, or you can recommend a specific video if there's one that you use. I will warn you, it's not that you may have a video that you want to use next week or next month and we can have it in the collection that quickly. It won't happen. We go through sometimes a lengthy negotiation process with each producer where we get access to the video. We're allowed to stream it to our clients, and in return they get back an accessible version with captions and description. So it's not a quick process. It's not something you can use to get something captioned that you want to use quickly, but we add about 300 hours worth of content every year, so we're always looking for recommendations. We want to know what's on your mind, what you want to see. And we have something on almost every academic topic you can think of. I went through just to see how this would work, and I pulled out from the Common Core Standard, English Language Arts Language. And I pulled that standard from every grade level, and I went through our videos, and I found a video that matched that grade level and that topic. So you can see all the way up through the 12th grade, we have videos that are going to meet those Common Core standards. We do extensive research and evaluation of every new video before we add it to the collection to make sure that it is high quality academic content, but we also want to make sure that it's going to be accessible when we do add the caption and description. For example, some videos may have very high rate of speech. If they do, those may not be videos we would choose, because to caption them accurately would mean the captions would be on the screen such a small amount of time they would be very difficult to read. So we're evaluating for a lot of different things when we're choosing videos to add to the collection. We want to make sure they're going to be what's best for the students that you work with. Coming soon, we have actually gone through all of our videos and matched them up with the Common Core standards, state standards, and the expanded core standards. We are just working on the interface so that in the future, when you go to any video, there'll be some sort of link and it will take you and show you which of the standards match that video. So it'll be a lot easier when you're writing up lesson plans to include that information. Like I said, we have the data. It's just a lot of data. So finding the correct interface so that we can display it and make it easy for you to access is where we are. Here's one of our academic videos, and this one shows some language skills for younger students.
That wristband is property of the Xylarian Grammar Administration. I demand that you return it. No. Please? Since your wristband is the only way off this deserted island, I will return it. But only after you have correctly answered all of my puzzles. You will find the first one under those coconut trees.
A hand from inside points. Xylo and Cause walk in that direction. Then the clam opens, revealing Veda and Bitron.
Those two have no clue that this is just an empty clamshell.
EWO. 2, EO, 2, DOO. Sound the same, but if you want to beat my game, you'll need to correctly use each one. Now drop those frowns and have some fun. 2, 2, 2. We need to think of 3 sentences, 1 for each word.
Why 3 sentences for the same word?
The words sound alike, but each one has a different spelling and meaning.
Okay, so just a sample of one of the videos we have for language arts with the younger students. Now, when you go to our website, there are 2 ways that you can find materials. The first one is by searching. There's a little search box and you type in a word, a phrase, or the title of a video. For this one, I typed in the word horse, and it came up and said that there are 30 videos in the collection which relate to horses. In the top right corner is probably very difficult to read, but it says there are 2 matches in the Learning Center. Our website's divided into 2 separate sections: the media, all of the videos, and the Learning Center, which are more print materials. And things like flyers, information about captioning and description, that sort of thing. So within the videos, there are 30 different ones that relate to horses. And I can scroll through and see what those are. If I were to mouse over one of those, it will come up with some brief information. It will tell me if the video is in English, Spanish, captioned, or described. It will tell me the runtime and the subject, the recommended grade level. So that's an easy way. I don't have to go off of this page to say, oh, I'm looking for something for 4th graders. Oh, that one was for 12th grade. I probably don't need more information on it. I can pick ones that I do want more information on. I can click on them and it will bring me to the video page like we saw earlier. Another way to look is through browsing. If you're not exactly sure what you're looking for, you can go to browse. These are all of our main categories. If I were to click on deafness, it's going to give me subtopics like deaf education and American Sign Language. And then I can delve into those more deeply. Now I'm going to skip back. Earlier on, we talked about this little icon that looks like a play button with the plus. That is actually how you add a video to a student account. This is really nice. You can actually go in and for each of your students, set up an account. Down on this page, you can see it says New Student. So I click there, and it takes me to this page where I put in their first and last name. I give them a username, and I give them a password. You can, if you want to set up the same videos for everyone in a class, you can give everyone in the class the same username and password for perhaps American Literature 1, 2, 3, 4. And that way, everyone in the class is going to have access to the same content. However, you may have different students that you want to allow access to different videos. So you would give them each their own account. Once you do this, it allows you to go ahead and set parameters for that student. You give them a grade level. This student's in 4th grade, so I'm going to let them see preschool content through 4th grade. I don't want them seeing 7th through 12th grade content because it might not be appropriate. Or you can choose to come back and do that later. But here you see the grade levels divide up, and you can see what you give them access to. Then you can go in and say they have access through 4th grade to everything in history, or everything in science, or technology. There we go. The one category that you might not want to assign the full category is counseling and self-help. This is where most of the sticky topics might be located, such as videos on sex ed, drug and substance abuse, different topics that are very appropriate at a certain age and for certain students, but you may not want them having access without your prior knowledge. So this is a way to provide access to a category of videos. Or you can go back and within each video click this symbol, and it allows you to add just that single video to a student's account. So you can add a category or an individual video. You can also share your students. So what we recommend is that the student's primary teacher set up their account, and then there's a little button they can click and they can share that student with other teachers and with parents. That way the student has only one login, and any of those adults can add videos to their collection. Once you've set up each individual student, you can set up a class, and every student in that class then has access to the same videos. And as we said before, if a teacher wants to use this, but they're a general ed teacher and they only have 1 or 2 deaf students, they can still give all of the hearing students accounts because they can have access to these videos. This is a really cool feature if you're doing a flipped classroom where they're watching a lecture or a video at home for homework, and then they come into the class to do the work itself. And DCMP does that really well. Then you set up the class name and you click to assign the students to that class. It's all really easy, and hopefully you won't have any problems with that. Some of the other things that we have, there's lots of content, as I said. There's the accessible television portal. So a lot of popular educational videos that you might not have an easy way of showing in class, they're on our site, like Bill Nye the Science Guy, Dora the Explorer, Paw Patrol, Mythbusters, The Electric Company, The Magic School Bus, Time Blazers. All of those are there for you to watch at any time and to use in the classroom. Many of our videos have additional related items, such as teacher's guides and lesson plans, so that you can use them and you don't have to do a lot of outside work. We provide you with as much content as possible. Many of the newer ones may link to a producer's page where the producer has actually created lesson plans and additional content for you. We also send out a monthly newsletter. We do not bombard you with tons of emails. You'll get one a month, and if you prefer not to, you can opt out of that as well. But as a member, you get a monthly newsletter, and we try and have relevant articles about things that are happening in the world and things that may be happening that month, such as holidays. And we try and give you links to media that could be used to talk about those topics. We have several campaigns that we run every year. Reading Captions Across America happens on March 2nd and throughout the month of March, in conjunction with Read Across America, which celebrates Dr. Seuss's birthday. We have materials we can send to you, and this is a great way to promote captioning with everyone in the class, and with hearing teachers, hearing students. And Listening is Learning promotes description for everyone. I said earlier we're going to talk about the transition videos. We have this program called Napat. You may have seen it previously. It was developed by PEPNet 2, another federally funded project that has gone away. It just was not refunded. And so we were able to take over this really, really nice transition curriculum for deaf and hard of hearing students. It's a full curriculum, covers all of Indicator 13 requirements. It also has a complete teacher curriculum guide that goes with it. I encourage you to check it out. This is where students can sign up for their own eLearner accounts. And then when they go into this, they're going to be able to save all of their evaluations and assessments and see them. This is why they need their own account. They go through Who Am I? They learn about hearing loss and how they want to self-identify. They learn about accommodations they may need and how to tell people about that. They learn about what they want for a career, if they want to go to college, if they want to go to a voc tech. But it's a really in-depth curriculum. You can choose parts of it to use with your students, or you could have them go through the full thing. It's a really, really nice way to cover transition. And all of the videos are signed, spoken, and captioned. All of the student role models are a variety. There are some culturally deaf. There are some hard of hearing who speak and don't sign. So hopefully your student's going to find somebody they can identify with and be able to go through this whole transition process and then become successful adults. Okay, we're almost to the end. I wanted to give you the code again if you need CEUs. And your ending code is I love captioned media. So make a note of that when you go to this link and fill in the CEU information. It's going to ask you for that beginning and this ending code. So you have to watch the video all the way through to make sure that you have those. And again, I'll be processing those at the end of the month. They won't go immediately because people who watch the recorded version will be able to fill this out until the end of January, and then first thing February I'll process all of those. So we have just a few minutes left. I wanted to give time if there were any questions, and if not, I'll have another video I can share with you. So does anybody have questions? Okay, I guess I've done a really good job then. Let me show you our ending video, and if you think of anything, you'll still have a couple of minutes to ask it.
And you can post those questions in the chat box and we'll read them for the captioner.
Perfect, thank you.
Dill and Scout come out of the side door.
Hey, Jim. I bet you a great cook against 2 darn swift. You wouldn't go any farther than the Blue Riding Escape.
Jim waves him off and walks out into his yard.
Yeah, so thanks, Jim. I go past Blue Riding's house nearly every day of my life. Always running. You hush up, Scout.
Jim shoves her into a bush. The boys take off. Scout follows as Jim rolls a big tire into the street.
Me first, me first, me first. You gotta let Dale be first. No, I'll let her be first. All right, get in.
Scout curls herself into the rim of the tire, bracing her feet and hands.
You ready? Uh-huh. Let her go.
Jim rolls the tire with Scout inside, building up speed. With a final push, the tire and Scout roll down the street. The boys gape as it heads toward the Radley house.
Down!
She rolls past the fence and crashes into the broken porch steps.
Scout, get away from her! Scout, come on!
Jim yells from the street.
Scout, don't just lie there, get up!
Sitting on the ground, Scout shakes her head. Jim rushes to her. Staring anxiously at the house, starts to haul her out of the yard. He pauses, then runs up to the front door, touches it, and runs away.
Run for your life, Scout! Come on, Dill!
The three run past Dill's house to Scout and Jim's, where they duck behind a porch.
Now who's a coward? You tell him about this back in Radiant County, Mr. Dill has.
Okay, let's see if I can stop sharing now, and we'll go back to our standard view, and we'll see if anybody has questions.
We did. We had one from Jen. She said she set up an account many years ago, and she wants to know, she doesn't remember her login. Should she start over, or can she do a I forgot it?
Here, I'm going to type my email address in the chat box. If after this you'll email me, I can look up your account information and send it to you.
And then Sahara said she missed the beginning broadcast by 5 minutes because I didn't know how to get into the podcast. How do you get the CEU? So I just reposted the CEU link. And again, we are recording this, so you'll have to watch the beginning and the end to get that CEU code for the beginning and the end. And we will, it takes about an hour for it to process and for me to post it on the website, which is RMTC-DHH. TA Live, and I'll post our website where we'll have that. And also we will need you guys to post to give us some feedback using the survey link, which I also had put in the oh, somebody else got it, which I'd also put in is to give us feedback on this presentation. You guys could take a few minutes. I think those were the two big questions. I don't think I saw any more. We'll give you guys a few minutes to fill out that survey, and we can stay on for another 5 minutes if you have any questions. Oh, I think we answered that live. Yep.
And I hope you'll all go set up a DCMP account this afternoon. DCMP is not available in Canada. That was the next question. Unfortunately, because we're funded through the U.S. Department of Education, they only allow us to serve U.S. citizens and those in the U.S. Where it branches out is if we have U.S. citizens who are perhaps children of diplomats or in the Army and they're stationed abroad, they can use our services. But if you're Canadian, unfortunately, you can't have access to our full library. But you can access all of the e-learning materials, which includes Napat, the transition curriculum, and there are about 1,000 of our videos that are open source that anyone can access.
Is that like the Dora Explorer and the Bill Nye? Bill Nye, can they access those?
No.
Oh, okay.
I don't know the full list, but it does not include most of the TV content.
Another one? Somebody said, I think I may have missed the ending code. That was the I love
Captions.
Captions. Was it exclamation point?
Yes. And if anyone missed either of the codes, you can go back and watch the recorded version to get those. Right, to get the beginning code, you'll need to watch the recorded version.
If you missed the beginning code, yes, you'll, well, and like I said, it'll be about an hour, and I should be able to post it on the website. Okay, well, thank you, Cindy, very much for presenting today. This was really some great information. I know I used Describe Caption when I was in the classroom, and I really recommend it to anyone. We do want to thank Ann Armstrong from Alternative Communication Services for providing our captions today. We will be back next month on Thursday, February 14th. And yes, that is Valentine's Day. We will be here with Shannon Fowler from Palm Beach County Schools, who's an itinerant teacher of the deaf and hard of hearing, and she'll be presenting Don't Teach, Coach, Self-Determination Through an Independent Problem-Solving Approach. That book is by Lynn Price. Do you want real-world examples of using Coach by Lynn Price? Wondering how to empower students for secondary transition? Want to foster self-reliance and self-confidence? Learn how an independent problem-solving approach can help. Stop teaching and start coaching. Finally, I want to thank you all so much for being a part of our day. This recording will be posted on the RMTC-DHH website. We love hearing from you and are happy to help any way that we can. You can connect with us through social media, email, follow us with our newsletter, and we are Florida Department of Education Bureau of Exceptional Education and Student Services discretionary project, and all of our services we provide are provided at no cost to you. To continue our work, we must collect survey data to justify why our services are needed. So if each of you could please complete that survey right now, we would greatly appreciate it. And please share with your colleagues who may have missed this broadcast that it is recorded and they can find it on our website. And again, the CEUs will be offered until the end of this month. So thank you for being here, and we hope to see you again next month. So thank you, Cindy, so much. We really appreciate it. And thanks, Ann.
Thanks for inviting me.